Hi everyone, Jill Lancet, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. How are you? Tonight we're going to make a triple side step card. I have all the measurements here, but don't worry, I'm going to go through those with you shortly. It's not about the stamping and the fiddly bits that end up making a beautiful card tonight. What I'm focusing on is the size and how to score and cut this card. And I've made a template, so I want to get started with that. Here are my details. I want to get that out of the way because I want to move it. The November host code is here. All of my details are here. You can see those on my Facebook page and also in my online shop. Okay. Now it's called a triple side step card, and basically this is the prototype. This is my template. It stands up like that. You can see that it's got a few folds in it, and when it's opened out it looks like this. So we'll go ahead and get started on that. There's a bit of scoring and cutting to do, but I have made a template, as I said. If you want to take a screenshot of that, I'll leave that there for a couple of seconds. And we'll get started. So you're going to need your Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer. And the first thing we're going to do is pull the arm out because we need the arm out. Okay. So I'm cutting this. I've written these instructions like a step by step, okay? And they go around the outside of this. So you start here, and then you go there, and you go there, then you go there, and then you're actually back at the beginning. So the first thing to do would be to cut it to 20 centimetres. So we've got it to 20 centimetres here. I've already pre-cut everything, and I've already done a lot of stuff off camera, so just to save time. So we've lined it up at the 20 centimetre mark. We're going to cut that there, turn it, and cut it at the 14.8 mark. So 14.8. Cut that. Okay, cut that way. Then we're going to turn it again, and this is when we're going to start our scoring and cutting. So we're going to start with, see if I can put both of those into shot, and then you might be able to see it a bit better. So we're going to start at 5 centimetres, and we're on the long side. Okay, we're on the long side, the 20 centimetre side. So we line that up with 5 centimetres. Now we need to go down to 7.4 centimetres. Okay, I'm going to show you a little trick that I discovered only through making mistakes. So we're on 5. We need to score that down to about 7.4 centimetres. Now it's really hard sometimes. You really need to have your head right over the top of this. So what I've done is I've put my finger right on the 8. Now the blade, or the scoring blade, won't go any further than my finger, and it doesn't matter if it doesn't go right down to that mark, because once we've scored most of it, the rest of it will fold, and I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to give that a good score. So as you can see that's probably scored about 7 7 centimetres down. Then we're going to move it across to 10 centimetres. Now this score is actually what we would normally have in this size card. So we're going to score this one all the way down. So at 10, score all the way down. Move it along to 13. Put my finger on 8. Score it down. Move it over to 16, and here's the trick. 16 is that tiny little crack in that, just in case you wanted to know. Put my finger on number 8, score that down, move it over to 18 centimetres. Put my finger on number 8 and score it again. Okay, that's all the scoring. So now we need to turn it around. And the scores need to be on the left-hand side. We're going to pop that underneath there. And we want to go to this measurement here, 7.4. So 7.4. Scoring blade up out of the way. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut from the first score line down here, this score line down here, up to the top score line, which is here. And it's easy to see, you can see through. There's a little mark here on the blade. And if you can line that up, press it down and line it up. And we want to stop up here. So we're going to go up. And I can see that there. See that line there? And this is what you should have. Partially cut through. We finished with the trimmer, so I'll get that out of the way. And we're going to need to score this now. Fold it and burnish it. So this now is the front of the card. Okay, we've got our little steps. These little score lines are down here now. And we've got a bigger panel on this side. So this is the front of our card. So we're going to score that. First I want to do is score it in half. Now it's pretty crucial to get the folds really even. And you want to give that a really good crease. We want this to be a really crisp fold. Now that's really nice. Okay. Now this first one here, can you see that there? See how it hasn't been scored all the way through? Well, that doesn't actually matter because the paper will actually follow through once you start doing this. So what we want to do is we want to kind of bend this one back. So we've got this sort of an affair. And stick your finger underneath there and fold that. So fold up, then fold down, folding up, folding down, and folding up. Now, it's a bit tricky when you first do this, but if you make a practice one like I did, you can iron out all the kinks. So we've got that now. It's pretty springy. So we need to really give these a good burnish. So and don't forget the ones inside. Okay, you've got two in there as well. Just get in there and give it a good fold. It is a bit awkward sometimes, but once you've done it, it's done. Now that is looking pretty good. Of course, you're getting a top view of it, and that is the front view. Now we can start decorating it. That's basically all there is. So if you follow these instructions, you shouldn't have any problems. Remember that you've got to start at the 20 centimetre side. You've got to turn it. You cut it at the 14.8 side, and then you turn it, and then you do all your score lines, and you turn it again, and then you cut. You make this cut here in the centre. Okay, so now let's decorate it. I have done everything else off camera just to make life easier. Now I used a few different stamp sets here, and I'll show you the ones that I used. Ouch, that was me. I used 3. I used some greetings from each of these. So I used that one from here. I also used that one. I used Hello You and Some Friendships Are Meant to Be from the Shaded Summer stamp set. Sorry, this one was the Free as a Bird. Ouch, sorry. So that was the Free as a Bird, Shaded Summer, and the hand penned petals. So I used this image here. I used this image here. And of course I used the various fillings for that as well. So those 3 stamp sets. Of course, use what you have. I like to mix and match. It just makes it a little bit interesting. So I've got all the bits and pieces here. I do have the measurements for all the bits and pieces here. And I'll just run through those with you. So the first one is the Highland Heather, and that was the 20 by 14.8 centimetre. So that's our card base. Then we had 2 pieces of mint macaron. They're both the same size, so they are 9.5 centimetres. 9.5 centimetres by 6.9. Then we have 1 piece of mint macaron at 6.9 by 5.5, and the final piece is 6.9 by 2.5. Now I had also some basic white. So the basic white, these 2 are exactly the same size. So this one is 8.4 by 5.3, and this one is the same. We have this small piece here, which is 5.3 by 1.3. And then we had a scrap of white, big enough to fit that stamp. So basically I did all of the stamping. Let me move that. I'll show you that again at the end, I think. So I did all the stamping. I don't know whether you can see, but on the background of here, of all of the mint macaron pieces, is that lovely leaf from Free as a Bird. This leaf here. It's very, very faint. I stamped off before I stamped it. And then I went around the edges with the mint macaron just to give it that rustic look. So all of the background pieces, all of the mint macaron have got that leaf stamped on it. Then the white pieces, this one here is the only one that has the leaves stamped on it as well. Again, I stamped it off in mint macaron before I stamped it. I also went around the edges with the Highland Heather. The sentiments on these two are stamped with Highland Heather, and this one is stamped in mint macaron. This colour is Highland Heather. This is Daffodil Delight stamped off, and this is mint macaron stamped off as well. So that's all the stamping. We don't need to go through that. What we need to do now is to put this together. So this is the panel for the front of the card. And you just get a little bit of the Highland Heather peeking out. A bit of glue. Sorry, I'm standing up and I've got the camera in the way. So, yeah, things are a little bit awkward at the moment, but nevertheless. Okay, does that look straight? Okay, a little bit of glue. I always just use an old towel or something that I've got. Once you've cut everything out and you get to this stage, putting it together is pretty quick. So the next piece we're going to glue on is this piece, and it's going into that back piece there. So not the first one, not the second one, but the third one. And I found the easiest thing to do is to line it up with that. So there's a bit of play in there so that you can get it right. There will be a little bit of a border. You can see a little bit of the Highland Heather either side. So, and you only, what I find is if I glue the bottom of this piece and the top of this piece, I'm pretty much assured to get it right. So I'm just going to pop that in there, line it up with this other piece of mint macaron on the front of the card, checking my borders. Let me check to see if it's straight. Okay, looks pretty good. Press it down. And that's what it looks like. Now the second piece is our little bunch of flowers here. Now, when you glue this piece in, tuck those little leaves over so that they're in behind. And again, top of this and bottom of this one. Now, push that little leaf in and then line it up with the piece behind it so that these borders are all correct. press it down. There we go. And the third little piece, again, just a line of glue here and a line of glue on the bottom. Line it up. And there you go. Now when it stands up, I'm not sure if you can even see that, but that's what it looks like. So we're going to put a little bit of Wink of Stella on these flowers, give it a little bit of an oomph, give it a bit of wow factor. And I just like to, I'm not sure even if the camera picks that up, but in most cases it doesn't. But I will persevere. I hope you can see it. It looks great. Also on these flowers, you don't need a terrible lot. Just a bit here and there. And do go down a bit because they will be able to see. And this tiny little bud here, which is also from the Free as a Bird stamp set, this little bud here. Now I'm not sure if you can see that, but I'm going to hold it up and hope that you can. I think you can see it here. Just adds a lovely little bit of sparkle. Brilliant. So now I've got a bow, and this is a gorgeous grape ribbon, and I thought I might put it like that, but I need to cut these tails down a little bit. So we'll go like this, and we'll go like that. Get that out of the way. I think that looks nice. And a couple of glue dots. I always put 2 on for good measure because I always try to find a flat part of the bow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. I'm going to put it on the glue dot, peel it off, and they're very sticky, and put a second one on just for good measure. Now any glue that's hanging over, you can just sort of pull it to the front. I'm not sure whether you caught that. And then I think I'll place it about there. Now that fits in a standard envelope because it folds down. I'll show you their envelopes. So it just fits in a normal C6 envelope. Now you've got space on the back, which I haven't decorated that, but you could put a panel there and have your message there so that when the recipient gets it, there's a message on the back. I hope you'll have a go at that. When I first saw it, I thought, yeah, that looks pretty easy. And at the end of the day, it is. But it took a fair bit of working out. So I will put this back up here. and you can have another look at that. And I will also put the measurements for all the panels. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Please leave me a comment because, as you know, I'm pretty new at this and I'm not sure half the time what I'm doing, but I hope it goes okay. Thanks. Happy crafting. Bye.